Alright, when we last left our hero, he was building 2 skid steers at the same time, and then he started to speak in third person about himself. This looks like a branded Bobcat, but you'll definitely see some differences. This looks like a branded Cat, Caterpillar skid steer, and I would say absolutely, especially because I had a water transfer decal already that I was able to put on the back, and you will see in between shows that I have been furiously painting and getting some of the more detailed work done, to which I can just kind of catch you up on. Now, I did get into painting the different colors for my Bobcat tribute, although the model itself is not a Bobcat, is like a mixture of several different skid steers, I would say. I figured because of the backstory I gave in the last video about me and my full-size radio control skid steer and how I came to get a Cat, that I could still do competitions between Bobcat and Caterpillar right here. So I did paint some of the accent pieces. I also went ahead and did like the small screws. You can have it there, you can see it. The small screws and the bolts on there. Very, very tedious, takes a lot of time, and although people have asked me to do different time-lapse videos when I've done that in the past, a lot of people say please never do that again. So after 12 years of doing build videos, I'm hoping you guys are kind of with me on how we do it right now. So looking over here, there's one of the things I wanted to point out as a hey, just in case you are building this kit, look out for this. Because these holes are pre-threaded, and because I did painting on here, look at one of the bolts on the bottom step there, totally busted right off. This was just because that it was a little bit tight in that thread, in that hole, and I thought when I was screwing it in, I'm probably going to snap it. Right then I did, and I thought that's a good lesson for everybody when I can share it with them. If you're going to just kind of pre-thread your hole, or if you have a tap and die, use your tap just to go ahead and kind of clean out any paint you have and kind of save yourself any heartache. But you know what? It kind of looks like a full size the more you kind of scratch it and wreck it anyway. So guys, let's get ready to do some building! You may notice as I'm building along that some of the pictures look like I should have done this already before I got to this stage, and you would be absolutely right. I did this out of order, so if you guys are building along with me, feel free to follow the manual. I strictly do this, you know, when I'm recording for your guys' entertainment and to get you into a good place at the end of each video. But now I've got to get down to the nitty-gritty and start building the swing arm and the armature for the whole lift arms. And you can see it's just the 2 elbows, a couple of bolts, a couple of spacers, and then this long black arm right here. So here's the armature, these 2 pieces on either side, and over on this side for me, here's the white pieces, and then there we go. Yeah, something like that. Now notice the ends. They're kind of slotted with that screw hole. Innuendo man. Did I just say innuendo man? So something like this. Now let me just make sure in the book this is correct. Kind of looks incorrect and correct at the same time. And then this one goes on like, there we go. Beautiful. Then A21 are these spacers that go on either side. And then the M48s, I'm assuming, is this one. It is, because they're the only, like, these are the largest ones. This is where I prefer to use a gel Loctite or thread lock. That way I can just use a small amount. And just make sure you don't get the thread lock everywhere and cinch it down. I never crank it because I hate, you know, stripping out any screws if I don't have to. Okay, so this is interesting. So they kind of get mounted up and in here, so like that, I'm assuming. I might have to back off a little bit. Nope, perfect. Aha, 418 right there. Thank you. For this side, I sanded both sides so the paint was removed, and I'll just add a very small amount of grease to either side to help it move up and down easier. Okay, so this is pin 4-18. This pin looks very similar to that, but on one end it's threaded. So make sure if you're building along with me that you use the right pin. I also made that mistake, or almost I should say. Gently push it in place, not forcing anything. And there we go, there's that one. Make sure this side is lining up as well and introduce this one. Everything is moving generally free. Now I have to put a set screw here and on the inside right here, making sure everything can move freely. And then a set screw in either side and on the back of the arms here and here. While I'm here, I'll just put this small little plate on to cover the holes where the screw goes into the swing arm. You might be wondering why a grub screw or a set screw would be getting put into here, like you want that whole pin to swing, and I'm imagining it's because you don't want the pin to work its way out over time. So we'll just kind of tighten that up, but not over tight. And then the other side. Okay, A24 is the bag I need. Ah, nice. Lower swing arm number 1 and number 2. Okay, shave down the arm just a little bit on the paint side so we could get a nice free motion, so there's nothing sticking here at all. And I'm going to take one of those pins and just that. Nice. Hello, how are you doing today? Do the same thing on both sides. Then A27 is going to be the bag, A29, so A27 and A28. Yep. I have to take this round cylinder and put it into that hole, and you can see already with the paint it's already a tight fit. You can imagine if you powder coated this, it would be very, very challenging, because with the thick powder coat, some of the parts may not fit because it is very, very well designed. And then I need bag M38, which just has 2 of these black screws in it that has a flange around the hex head. And then put a small washer on there from A29 and then drop it into where you just put the cylinder inside the arm. And what you do to one side, make sure you do to the other. And then I put 3 little clasps on here, or I should say mounting points, I'd say. They're screwed into place. Now I need those pins, number 2 from 414, that is correct. Now I'm just putting some grease on these small holes so the shaft will slide right in. Alright, so if this lifted up and out of the way, then the lower swing arm goes up here. That can fit right in there. And I take this one, put it up in the hinge, and then take that lower arm, attach that with the pin. Oh, coming together, guys. Are you still watching right now? I know I'm like always kind of excited and I talk a lot near the end of a build, but if you guys are watching, please let me know right now. Look at this. Ba-boom! Double the pleasure, guys. I'm doing double the work here. I hope I see double the comments. Let me know if you guys are even into heavy-duty hydraulic RC equipment, or what kind of area of the hobby are you into. I always love reading comments, guys. It gives me a great reward knowing you guys are enjoying the videos as well as I enjoy making them for you. I think it's really cool. In the last video I asked, which one do you guys prefer more? Was it the tracked machine or the wheeled machine? And the diversity of comments that came in really goes to show that we all have different opinions about what's best, what's better, you know, what conditions could be improved, all sorts of things, you know, even on the brand of skid steer you guys like. I think that's why the world does so well, because there are so many differences. As long as we can respect each other and get along, that's the secret. Yes, I've been looking forward to this. This is the quick connect that's going to be going on. They're showing it actually getting mounted upside down. Okay, the cat is upside down and there are receiving holes on either side. Here is the quick connect. This is actually how you're going to be removing if you get one of these. I would think it would have been servo driven, but again, then that's just another channel they would have to add when it's just as simple just to manually unhook accessories. I'm thinking, who knows, maybe they'll come out with something in the future. So this is going to be facing like so, and remember those pins I mentioned earlier about accidentally using them on the lift arm? Well, these are actually number 4-20, and they have a threaded side and a non-threaded side. The threaded side is going to go on the inside, just like this, and then just like this on top. And you don't need to do, I just did that to show you guys, you just do one at a time, would be probably a little easier. Take that out of there, now that you get the idea. And then just press the pin into where it needs to be. Make sure not to force it, should slide in fairly easy. Just add some lubrication. Too much lube can be too much lube, but then when you have the right amount, it just slides right in. So there, I had no resistance at all, and that is now in place. I just need to add a bolt on either side and it's secure. All right, now we get to get into some of the actual fun stuff, the hydraulics. Look at this ram. People say, why didn't you paint the ram? You just left it like steel or brushed aluminum or chrome or whatever you want to call it and wherever you're from. And my answer is it is not a Bobcat. I actually really like the look of this, and I think it looks, different at least. It kind of adds a little bit more of an edge to it. And I have painted my Rams before, but I think this will look pretty good on both models. So I'm going to leave it as is. This is going to be straightforward. This is why we just put this whole pin system in, making sure that the hole is facing forward, then sliding the pin in on the bottom. This is going to take a washer up top and then a small E-clip. There's also going to be an E-clip on the inside of the lower pin. All right, maybe on the Cat, the silver is a little bit of a different look, but then again, it's, just my interpretation of a Cat. All right, time for the clamshell bucket. Why would they call it that? Well, I'll tell you what, it kind of hinges in the middle and opens, so whatever you've scooped up, you can kind of dump out the bottom, or if you want to grab something, you can kind of grab it, which makes it a little bit easier to maneuver when you have jobs to get done, right? So what are we going to do to make this happen? Well, with these two little pieces, these are going to be mounted on, this is just one of them, this is going to be mounted onto the inside of the bucket. Now I've got two of these, and look at this. This is the back part. This is a swing point, of course, and what I've done is I've just kind of scraped the paint off of there, making it nice and simple. And if you watch this, this kind of just goes together like that. It seems pretty easy, does it not? I would agree with you. Then we take these and we kind of slide this over the pin, and then that way it kind of makes an area where we can actually hold the hydraulic ram. Same on this side, like that. I'm going to cinch them into place with a couple of screws. And just like a clamshell, la 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 la. So those are screwed into place, no problem. Nom nom nom. So that's pretty straightforward. I could, I guess, paint it underneath here. I just left it standing when I painted it, but I don't think it really matters. It's going to get scraped off anyway. Let's have a look at these small hydraulics, and we will just kind of stretch these out a little bit. Just trying to get them to line up. And that will fit exactly in like that. Sorry, my big hands are in the way. We will have to show you when it is completed. And like that. Just put a couple of pins in there. So once the rams are in place, then I have to get out one of the distribution blocks and start cutting hoses, it looks like, and start using the flow pins or banjo pins. Let's see, the diameter of the oil pipe is 2.5. Okay, small amount of thread lock, and then into the block it goes. It's just not just regular thread lock, in case you didn't watch the last episode. There you go. That's what I'm using for pneumatics and hydraulics. And it gets 2 on this side and then 2 on the other. And then in the kit, you actually get all the hose, right? So make sure you got the right diameter. In fact, you can go and check it against the page and you'll see the drawing will match. Okay, so here is the hose now attached to the distribution block. At this point, you're going to want to introduce some of these retainer coils. This is going to help keep the tube attached to the nipple when it is under pressure, right? Any kind of back pressure, and you don't want that to be blowing off the end. And when you're done, it would look something like this. So the shorter one's up top and the longer one's going to the bottom. I'm going to mount this up right here where there is some pre-drilled holes there and there. And there it is installed. Beautiful. So easy to open and easy to close. I got the longer hose on the bottom just so it had plenty of clearance and room. And then as you move it around, you can see that this is like a really neat bucket. I wish I would have had one of these for my full size because it would definitely help when you're trying to go and grab like certain sizes of branches or just like brush or whatever. And then you want to like just kind of scoop everything out of the way, or maybe you just had a pile that you were trying to level and you were just pushing all the dirt, you know. Or you could even use this to spread dirt along. Like the uses for this kind of bucket. The 3-in-1 bucket is just like endless. I love this thing already. Well guys, I thought I was going to get way more done than I did before my wife started ringing that dinner bell, but it is that time again. Building two machines at once takes a lot more effort on my side, definitely. I want to make sure they're both done properly, so I'm giving you guys good advice. What do you think of the quality? What do you think of the look? What do you think of the build detail? I'm dying to know what you think. Leave it in the comment section down below. And look at this. Nothing has gone wrong. The only thing I did was strip out that one bolt. Not a big deal. At least I know for the future. That's pretty much my fault because I had too much paint on the inside of those threads. But I'll tell you, lots of work is going into these. There is still lots of work to go. I've got lots of hydraulics to go. And let me know, do you want me to even cover hydraulics? Because I've done it before. I don't want to be boring you guys. We'll see you in the next episode. Now get outside and have fun with RC. Or if you're like me, stay inside. Build some.